Due to the potentially dark and frightening content of our investigations, this episode may not be suitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ghosts, spirits, demons. What are these entities? What do they want, and why are they here? My paranormal investigation crew's goal is to answer these questions and others like them.
Who are you?
Questions we've been asking for centuries.
Why are you here?
We've assembled a crew of the most dedicated enthusiasts in the area to capture evidence of these entities. What we find might be disturbing, dangerous even, but we are prepared for the journey ahead of us. The question is, are you prepared to take this journey with us? It's midnight. Follow me into the darkness, guided only by Midnight's Light. This is Midnight's Light Paranormal. The Sayler-Swartsel House, also known as the location of the Preble County Historical Society. A Victorian-style home tucked away and steeped in local history, where phantom footsteps walk the halls and children's laughter fills the upstairs. Once a farm that hosted orphans and a past that includes death. Midnight's Light Paranormal was called upon to investigate this historic location. I'm here with the director of the Preble County Historical Society, Misty Spellman. Misty, how long have you worked here?
This month has been 3 years I've been here, yes.
So, quite a long time.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the history of the Historical Society?
Sure. The house itself here, the Sayler-Swartsel House, was built in 1860 by Sebastian Saylor. And he owned the land and farmed it until 1881 when one of his farm hands was actually happened to be his nephew, W.S. Vickers, bought the farm from him. And Vickers owned it for a long time, and then in 1929, Vickers' daughter Harriet and Harriet's husband Joseph bought the property from him. And then Harriet and Joseph would end up having one daughter named Sayler-Swartsel, who would be born in 1913, and Sarah is the one who donated all the land and the buildings and so forth to become the Preble County Historical Society in the early 1970s.
Okay. Do you know of any tragedies or any death that happened here?
So during the process of the farm becoming the Historical Society, they actually had caretakers who actually lived in the house here. Part of the house was turned into like an apartment. And in the 80s, we had a caretaker named Harlan Long, and he actually passed away in a house of a massive heart attack. And it is always claimed that he is one of the presence here when I hear things going on and so forth, because people would always tell me, oh, well, it's Harlan, just checking in on things to make sure everything's going okay, since he was one of the past caretakers.
Have you had any paranormal experiences here?
I have, yeah. I would say within 2 weeks when I started here, I started hearing noises. I heard footsteps, knocking sounds towards the front of the house here. And then one day when I was back in my office, I actually heard the front door open. And so I got out of my chair to go greet whoever was coming in, and nobody was there. So I never said anything, and eventually, I would say about a month later, I was talking to one of our volunteers, and she got talking about paranormal things, and she mentioned the same things that I had experienced when I started working here. So then I knew that things were actually happening. I just wasn't, going crazy or anything. So it was kind of cool, and things just kind of have progressed from there. Just hearing noises, knocking footsteps, things of that sort. The room you're standing in is the blue room. And so in 1881, when W.S. Vickers bought the house, he actually built this room and the upstairs onto the house sometime after that. And those are actually our two main active rooms in the house, which is pretty interesting. So, and the upstairs is actually where, when Sarah lived and ran the farm, she never married. So she went to the children's home in Eaton and actually brought orphans here. Okay. And they stayed upstairs and helped her with the farm. If I would say I ever felt uncomfortable, it would be this room sometimes. When you're leaving, the front door is right over there, of course. So when you're setting the alarm, you're looking into this room, and you sometimes get the feeling that you're being watched. Somebody's in here. And also, over in the corner here, we have a motion detector, and our detector goes off a lot at 3 in the morning.
Really?
And our caretaker, John, has to come down here and reset the alarm. It goes off constantly, and they don't know what's setting it off.
All right, Missy, thank you for having us. And
Oh, thank you so
thanks for
much.
letting us investigate.
Thank you.
With the rich history and frequent activity at the Sayler-Swartsel House, we should be in for an interesting investigation. While we were filming our interview, we took some full-spectrum still pictures to see if we could capture anything out of the ordinary. Several of our pictures revealed strange orbs, some of which even seemed to be glowing. Could these orbs be giving us a glimpse of just how many spirits reside in the Sayler-Swartsel House? We're continuing our guest investigator program, and our guest investigator for this investigation is Hayden Shenley. Now, would you consider yourself a skeptic?
I would. I've had one experience that I guess I would classify as paranormal in my life, but other than that, not really, no.
Okay. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to experience something?
I'm excited, yeah.
Alright, well, let's get in there. Before we began our investigation, our psychic medium Steve revealed what he picked up during his reading of the building.
So what I got here when I was here the last time, the name Beatrice. I got a small girl. She was an orphan. She's little, like maybe 5 years old. She's got loose, messed up socks, kind of unkept, and a little small for her age. She might be 7-ish, 5 to 7.
Okay.
Sort of sickly. She really liked the lady of the house that used to have the orphans come here. She followed her around, and she couldn't really do too much around the farm because she was little and a little bit sickly. So Beatrice, if that's her name, because I got the name Betty. Also,
Okay.
she grew to be old and had children and grandchildren. She's returned as a spirit looking for the lady, and her spirit shows up as a little girl. She's trying to find the lady, and for some reason, she can't find this lady. Sarah, I'm assuming, is the lady she's looking for. Many items here have energy of their former owners. There's so many different items here from,
They're all over the place.
Right. I got the name Margaret, Elizabeth, Janet.
What makes these names interesting is the fact that in the blue room there is a painting of a woman named Elizabeth, and a plaque stating that this piano was donated by a woman named Margaret. During his reading, Steve picked up these names before entering the blue room for the first time. We set up 8 different stationary cameras around the building in places that we believe to be hotspots, including upstairs with a view of our newest experiment, a teddy bear that is holding a REM pod, one in the blue room facing the painting of Elizabeth, one with a view of the real human skeleton and some antique medical equipment, and one in the room with the casket. We begin our investigation with a millimeter session. At the same time, I begin taking some pictures with the full spectrum still camera.
Skeleton right there. That is a real human skeleton that was donated to the Preble County Historical Society by a doctor. And there's some old medical instruments right there.
This is not
See ya. There's your bear. You should try to play with your bear. Don't be afraid.
Haha, got a 4.6 when you said that.
Really?
Really?
I haven't moved, yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
It shot from 0 to 4.6 back to 2 something.
If we're looking for a little girl and there's 3 men walking around, maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah, I know. I kind of wondered if that might scare her. That's what I was trying to... Oh, boy, I just caught an... Oh, wow.
An orb?
I just caught an orb in that room.
We decide to move to another part of the building to finish our millimeter session. In doing so, we came across some very creepy dolls. What we hear next is startling. The bang was so loud that it was even heard back at our tech base.
We're not in a battery situation here. What was that?
What was that? Less than 20 minutes later, we hear another unexplained noise come from upstairs.
You take care of the spirit box, and we'll try to do a spirit box session there at the casket, and then we'll put the primitive rim pod in there.
Are you on this one?
I'm upstairs.
Have you guys seen anything?
We just heard a big thump.
We move on to the casket room to begin our spirit box session.
What's your name? You can use that device to speak to us.
Okay, hang on. So we can see him open that.
I was trying to avoid it.
I'm going to scoop this out and put the lid behind it.
From this angle, you can see the black stain inside the casket from the bodies that once laid there.
I feel like there's a few trying to come through, so just take your time to learn how to use this. But can you tell me what your name is?
Is that Daniel? Do you like us being here to talk to you? I'll hold up for this skeleton.
So what's your name?
What did that say?
I don't know.
To me, it sounded like Dave.
Dave?
That's what I thought. I heard that, David.
Alright, you want to hold this?
What did it say?
The speaker, you can just keep it on top, or you can hold the speaker separately, it's whatever you want to do.
Whoa. That sounded like it's a girl screaming.
Yeah. It's whatever you want to do. Are you connected to one of these objects? Did you own one of these objects? No. 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 Move to the blue room.
Yeah, can you tell us what your name is?
Nope.
No. No.
How many of you are here?
11?
That's what I thought I heard.
Yeah.
11. Did you say 11?
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, it answered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are one of you a small girl?
Just say me.
We make our way to the blue room.
Elizabeth, I felt you when I was here the last time. Are you here?
Hey. That's cool. Hey. Hey. Are you having a good time with this? Using this device?
No.
No.
Well, don't be afraid of it. It's okay.
We're not here to hurt you. We just want to know more.
No.
No. Can I go over this pain? Because that's a name that we got. Maybe she'll respond. Is this you on the wall?
Wow, that's...
I've never gotten this many voices.
Man, it's like...
Do you know our names?
What's his name? Hayden?
Oh, I heard that. Did you hear that?
Wow.
Okay.
Hayden?
Oh, I heard that. Did you hear that?
Hayden?
Oh, I heard that. Did you hear that? Free?
Do you need freed from something?
Could these spirits be asking us for help?
That was something pretty clear.
If you could say one word to me, what would it be?
This?
Yes.
Or kiss?
Steve then tries to get the spirits to touch his hands.
Can you touch my hands?
Whoa! I just got an orb. A big orb.
What makes this anomaly so interesting is the fact that it behaves like light. When it passes over the picture to the left, it lights it up. We rule this out as being a reflection or any source of outside light, because as you can see from this angle, Hayden does not move the spirit box until I mention the orb and no light source is present.
Whoa! I just got an orb. A big orb.
Is there anywhere in the house you would like us to go?
Upstairs?
Yep.
Yep. Upstairs? Upstairs?
At this time, Hayden returns to Tech Base, and myself and Steve head upstairs to try to make contact with the children.
Are you here, Sarah? Oh, I heard a man. Who's this? Who's the man speaking?
After review, we notice two orbs move across the bottom of the screen. It even appears that one of them causes the spirit box to make a noise. Watch when the red arrow appears.
Oh, I heard a man. Who's this? Who's the man speaking? Who's the man speaking?
At the same time, we notice a strange orb moving downstairs in the room with the human skeleton.
Can you give us any names?
As we head back downstairs, we notice a picture on the wall. Keep this next scene in mind later in the investigation.
What's his name? There's a little placard.
Judge William Gilmore. Who's talking? Say I am?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
What's your name? Richard.
Oh, I did hear that.
Richard. Richard. What do I have on my head? What was that?
I don't know.
Did it say brain?
I don't know.
Not in my head, on my head. Okay, I have another question. Are you happy?
At this time, we decided to try one of our new devices, the FLIR thermal imaging camera. The thermal imaging camera records temperature and displays heat as color. It could also show unidentified heat signatures, which could be classified as paranormal. Kind of interested to see this coffin in thermal. So basically you've seen movies and TV shows. We're just looking for heat signatures, you know?
Yeah.
This is cool, because we know, this is our first time using thermal on investigation. And I'm digging it. Although we didn't capture anything with our thermal imaging camera, we felt that it was still important to show viewers what it looks like to operate the device. During a break, we noticed another interesting orb on the upstairs stationary camera. Take another look.
Oh, it's on there.
Oh my God, look.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? Look. It changed direction.
Yeah, which means it's for sure orb, because other things can't.
That was unbelievable. Did you see that?
We then moved to another popular device, the Ovilus 5. We will periodically show a picture of the Ovilus word log to show you that the words were actually stated.
Okay, what do you have to say to us here? Let's go back this way. No. Black. Why not? Well, Black could be a name. Last name, Black.
Yeah.
There's that noise again. I want Casket.
Huh.
Blaze.
That's funny because there's a casket down there.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Black. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is making sense. Maybe stars arrived. Oh, and that the casket is in the room with the stars.
Yeah. I think we should go down
And
to that
Black
room.
and Blaze. Maybe that's how the person died.
Yeah.
And they were in that.
I think we should go down there
Yeah,
and
let's
just
do that.
sit
Yeah, let's do that.
by the casket.
Okay.
As you can see, the casket is indeed in the room with the star wallpaper. It told us to go to the casket in the room with the stars.
Robert. Yeah, it told us to.
What did it say?
Casket.
It said casket, and then it said
Stars.
which is the room that the casket's in has stars.
And it said, what did it say? Like something like about a blaze and then black.
Black blaze, yeah.
Yeah, like it, maybe somebody died in a blaze and was actually in that. Let's go in there.
Okay, I'm gonna.
The casket stain is black.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. That's so weird. It said casket.
Psychic.
You got.
Huh. Yeah, that's you.
What would you like to say? Okay, so we came down to this room, like you said. Coffin.
Yeah. Cough.
Island. Slight. Coffin Island Slight. I don't know what that meant. But yeah, okay, so that totally makes sense. We're in here with the coffin.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Together, us.
So there's restore.
Could this be referring to the building as a restoration of history? After all, it is the Preble County Historical Society.
Magic dress.
Well, there's a dress right around the corner. Yeah, right around the corner.
Wound developed. Wound developed. Okay. Oh, we're by the doctor's stuff.
Oh yeah.
Different. Mend. Period.
Different, mend, period. Could this be in reference to the vintage dresses that are all around this part of the building?
Can you tell me who you are or how you died? Shove evening mad, like somebody shoved. Was it a fight?
These words are a perfect response to Steve's question. How did you die? I return to Tech Base to grab a new walkie-talkie with fresh batteries, as Steve heads into the Blue Room.
Running monument. Lasting.
Again, could this be referring to the building as a lasting monument to the local history? As I return to Steve, something amazing happens.
I'm bringing you a new walkie.
Okay.
Because yours is being weird.
Yeah.
Hey, room pot upstairs going off. Yeah.
The REM pod upstairs is going off. Show. It's like it's showing us.
As you can hear, the Ovilus immediately says show, as if it is recognizing that the spirits are showing us that they touched the REM pod.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
REM pod.
Yeah.
The REM pod upstairs is going off.
Dude.
Show. It's like it's showing us.
Yeah.
Steve then heads upstairs to investigate.
You want me to go upstairs? Erie, Judge.
Sure. We don't need somebody to meet you up there.
Okay. And this guy's a judge, right? Judge William Gilmore. Okay. Chest. Sift chest. Okay, I'm coming up here. And did you make my lights light up? Did you touch the bear? This is very cool. I like that. Arrived. Yes, I have. So what do you want to talk about?
Peace.
Peace. Good. So you're happy. That's good. And that peace, that's good to hear. It really is. That's good to hear.
These words are relevant because they seem to be describing Steve's location. We decide to send Steve and Hayden downstairs to the basement with both the spirit box and the Ovilus. We also throw in a little twist.
Oh, yeah. So not creepy.
Well, what's so even more creepy about it is once I got down there and I got a hold of this thing, I had a feeling that somebody did not want me to touch this.
Well, why are you touching it still?
Is there anybody here? Okay, so this is off. Now to the Ovilus. Let's see if I can get anything on that. What would you like to say to heard watch?
Are you hearing us talk to you and watching us?
Whose wheelchair is this? Statement. Walter. Pray. Okay, Walter. Sign. Okay, we got a name, Walter.
Is there a sign next to you? It's like it has a little person on it. It says next. There's like a white sign next to you. It says next left.
Oh.
I guess right behind you.
Yeah.
Although we didn't pick up much down in the basement, the words that were stated can be seen as having some relevance due to Steve and Hayden's surroundings. There's only one place left for us to investigate: the cabin.
Did you live here?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Did you live here?
Yeah.
Did you live here?
Yeah.
Did you? I do see how.
Can you say that for us again? Oh my gosh!
What?
Yeah, that was a bat or something just flew massively on the screen.
Really?
Massive. Like literally the size of Steve's head.
Oh, so there's a bat in here?
I don't know, man, but I don't think bats can survive in this cold weather, can they?
We rule out this anomaly being a bat because of its transparent nature and the way that it disappears on screen. Bats in Ohio hibernate from October to April, being that it is 0 degrees Fahrenheit in early January. This also helps rule this out.
Do you like it here? Yeah,
Yeah,
I do too.
it's really cool.
This is a neat, long home. Do you like it here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what your name is?
Brad? What did it say?
After over 3.5 hours here at the Sayler-Swartsel House, we decide to end our investigation. This investigation was packed full of compelling evidence. We got amazing responses right off the bat.
Hayden?
Oh, I heard that. Did you hear that?
Wow!
Okay.
And they didn't stop there.
Casket.
Huh.
Blaze.
That's funny because there's a casket down there.
Yeah.
Not only did we capture a large array of audio evidence, but we saw an abnormal amount of visual evidence as well.
Can you say that for us again? Oh my gosh!
What?
In a place so rich with history, it was no surprise that we captured so much. It is comforting to know that when we pass on into the void, our legacy lives on and calls to future generations, like a beacon from the past. The next time you hear a phantom footstep, a faint whisper, or ghostly laughter coming from upstairs, take notice. If you happen to say hello, who knows, you may get an answer back.
You see, a lot of people come here. This is the Historical Society, and it's people who appreciate history, the history of people, and the things that you did and the things that you left behind. And people appreciate that. So the people that come here, there's students that come here, which you mentioned. They're learning about history here, and this is a great place.
For the latest news on Midnight's Light Paranormal, like us on our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Instagram. All of these links can be accessed under the About tab on our YouTube channel.